Okay. Okay. Good. Camera's on. You have audio. You have audio. Boom, baby. What's going on, everybody? Joseph Sunderman, Creative Tech here. This is the 32nd episode of Session. Super excited. Late, which is seemingly to be a thing here lately, but I assure you it's not. My daughter is currently in cheerleading, and that has been quite interfering with my anyway, I'm being super excited about today's episode. We're here at the downtown studio, a new different vibe here for Creative Tech. But I'm excited because, I need to use this space more. I haven't been using it. And this week, I thought, why not do the episode at the studio downtown? I need to start drawing attention to my work down here. Do what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm a little pumped up right now. I just have somebody in here that keeps excited people away. His name's Brian. That's all I remember. But here at the studio, there's a thing going on down the way. It's not. I think it's good. Someday, maybe. But basically, what I'm trying to do is make this my studio where I work with clients, people that want to get better at their messages, get better at their brand, and compartmentalizing things, and having something to work towards. That way, when they have to make decisions, they feel better about that decision because they just put the improvements to the entity. And we'll talk about entity to some degree here today too. Foundations is the focus. Our three topics. First topic is identity. That's why foundations are so important, because your foundations are what's going to make up your identity. And how Icora gets there, and how Creative Tech gets there, how we build our foundations. We're not building these things with stick and mud. We're talking steel and concrete. We want good foundations. The best way to do that is with our second topic today, which is principles. I'm trying to stick to this one word title thing, but values, the principles, the ethics, all these things play in to your personal brand, getting you to achieve more. So I can assure you, by leaning into things that give you joy, that make you happy, because what's going to happen is there's other people that have like-minded. That's why I'm so excited to be drawing. And you find somebody that's like-minded, somebody that's on the grind, and they're excited because they see a piece of gear you have on your shirt while you're going to the bathroom. The littlest things that connect you with something. And with Creative Tech, we want to let you know how those opportunities. Because as I was walking through the hallway, it was just like, hey, oh, are you doing a tour too? No, I'm doing a show again. Sometimes we're going on a tour. I need to let them know, hey, if you're on a tour, do you want to come through here real quick? And by doing that, open the doors, and we were both. I was 10 minutes late for my own show that I was well prepared for, even though I'm late. That's what I'm trying to say, everybody. Prime example of what you can get down to. And for our third topic today, what do you need to take away from this? What do you need to know about foundations? I legitimately just realized, I don't remember what the third one was. Oh, consistency. Yeah. That's what you need to do. And it's not so much about consistency, about just be consistent with everything you're doing right now. It's about being consistent with the things that work. And being below that surface level, figuring out where those deep rooted things. So, a lot to talk about today. Again, I'm excited about today's session. I have more time to put thought into it, so will it be better as a show? I don't know. I've already forgotten the same topic, so I'm going to take this session. But again, I'm excited. A lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I'm at the studio today. This is different. So I'm also hoping shifting this up a little bit will knock some things loose and show me where there's good consistency consistency things are. Don't learn to knock off some of the message. So, what we're doing now is I got a board. Welcome to the 32nd episode of Texas Foundations of Focus today. Before I don't forget it, we've got possibility. We have our principle. And we have so each topic is geared towards foundation. All right. So why is foundation so important to the creative tech? Identity. Why, identity. Who are you? Now, I don't want you to answer it in a way that you think others see. I want you to answer it as in, who are you? And I can tell you right now that I'm Joseph Sunderman. I was born in Great Lakes, Illinois on the Navy base and traveled everywhere from Hawaii to Pennsylvania where my mom was in the Navy. So we landed in Little Clinton, Ohio, where she was able to get us out of foster home because, she got kicked out of the Navy. We were stuck in the foster home for about a week. And my mom, she pulled us out of foster care. Awesome. After that, my dad got married. We lived in Clinton, Ohio, and we were pretty much there until I got older and moved. And the whole time I was in Clinton, I was like, you either work at the paper factory, if people are still doing that, or get out of here. I got out. It took a long time, but I got out. I know who I am. I love going. I love my wife. She's the most important thing to me right there with the kids. Because I know with my family, anything's possible. And that's my purpose. It's one that I love. Knowing that they're here and how much I care for them, take care of them. That's huge for me. But I love going to the beach. I love music. I mean, I love anything that moves you. It gives you good vibes. Yeah. There's a lot to who I am, and I know exactly what I want. More so than a lot of people that I've met on my path. And it's nice when you meet somebody that knows what they want and they're in the game. Great, great, great stuff. I want to capitalize on it. And I know that we have things that we have. I know there are jobs. I think when you're young, it's up to you to do the heavy lifting for the young and the old and the sick and the weak. And I think it's all of our responsibilities to be accountable for our actions. There's certain things that I think we all share. And depending on the community you're in, depending who you are, it all makes up your identity, who you are. And there's only certain things you can control. When we talk about creative tech, that's a big one, right? And I'm going to write it up here now because I think it's on my mind. I don't know how I feel about this whiteboard thing, but I'm practicing. I got to get good at it, right? Pretty sure there's more to write up here. Objectives. Objectives are the things that we can control. Matters, those are the things that are going to get their way. I already fucked up with that. Objectives, you want to get to it, right? You're going to get a degree. You're going to get married. You're going to travel. Whatever. You have this very nice, well thought out plan. And that's if you know what your desired state is at making the decisions as you're doing things, matter, say screen plans, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do everything. These are things you can't do. That's what matters. Objective, we put our objectives in mind. Matter, oh, we have to deal with it. We could have the most perfect plan, and where does it get knocked off? Does the plan get interrupted towards the end? It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And being mindful of that and being grateful for it at the same time, learning what Build Back Better means. Could you lose everything and be okay with starting over? I know I could, as long as I wasn't. If I was alone, it would be difficult. If I had to start all over with not knowing it, like not having friends or family, and I had to start all over again, talk about painful, but first two, that would be the that would be it. That's worth it. So anyway, now that you guys know that we're talking about foundations today and what objectives versus matters, let's go ahead. I talked a little bit about what identity is and who you are, and talk about this a lot too. But the main focus today is foundations. What are some of the foundations that I'm building that help keep us grounded? Let's talk about some of the foundations I set out to begin with. One of the very first foundations that I set up was the objectives versus matters, one of them. But before that, even I set up master plan. This is the master plan, right? Or I guess it's called the national transformation. This is how we measure progress. We got a cool little digital gadget. And before you go stealing my ideas and stuff, just know, hopefully posting this video will be dated. If you see other places, we'll know. I have been feeling a lot lately. The more I do things, the more I watch. Like, I feel like people are watching me because I start doing something, and all of a sudden I see somebody else talking about it or doing it. Like, am I a true? What's going on? Anyway, enough of that stuff that's happening. What is this? Well, right now, we are in year 2022. That goes right. Next year was 25. Last year was 20. Oh, okay. Couple minutes. Go through. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, this foundation that I built, this table that I live off of, and some people tell you I'm forcing them into this, that I holding them hostage. Oh my God, how loud is this music? I really hope everybody can hear me. I don't know what sound is like right now. I know when I was doing my testing earlier, it was fine, but I'm a little excited now that I hit go live. Like this, I need a lot of work. I get that. I'll get there. It's okay. I got a lot going on up in here, but yeah, I suck at this right now. I'm aware of that, everybody. It's okay. That's why we're doing this. We're going to get good. So let's recap real quick. Let's catch up. I just basically was talking for the last 14 minutes, and you have to listen to this loud ass music. Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, Joseph, wow. Nobody's going to want to see or be a part of this. But it's okay. If I had somebody helping and moderating, God, imagine that. But we got to show people what it's about. We got to show them that it's a serious business. We're not around here. All right. This is our core foundation for Icora's master tech plan. In fact, every plan that I have ever since I've done this, even in my personal life, I'm it just makes my life easier. And since I'm the one that's kind of managing most of these things, I don't know if I'm a control freak. I guess I am a control freak. I think the thing about it is I just want to control what I can't control. If I can't control it, let me control it. If I'm allowed to, yeah. If I can't control it, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to try to even attempt to control it because it's not my place to. I'm not stupid. If I see you struggling with something and I feel like, man, you really need some help with this, and you're even looking at me asking me for help, do I even want to get involved with this thing? Because I know what it means to our relationship if it doesn't go well. It's so difficult. So yes, if you're working with Joseph Sunderman, I guess it has to kind of be his way. Is that? Here's what I will say: is if you have a suggestion, I have a lot of issues with adoption in my circles. Every community is different. Every tribe is different. I hope you don't have the same problems I do, but is it ever hard to keep standards up or get everybody to stick to something that we agree to? Like doing the disciplined work, even if we say we're going to do it and want to what we say we're going to, it's not easy. We get into getting good at forming new habits, getting into your desired state, staying there. That's the most dangerous thing you can do, Scott. That's the most dangerous thing you can do. So, why is this foundation so important? Well, let's take a look at the top three. This is the past, right? This is the future. And to me, this is the present. Now, you're like, Joe, this is 23 is the past. 25 is the future. What do you mean that's the past and this is the future? I'm saying for my plan, that's where we are right now. If this was a chart with lines, we'd be closer to, filling all of this in up until 24. We'd have this much left. Now, what happens is in 2026, this all jumps up. Boom. Now we're in 2026. And we're not going to go past 2023 when we look in the past. Right now, we can go all the way back to 2020. That's part of our data that we're looking into it. Obviously, we can go back further if we need to. It's a framework. It's a foundation that we use to keep everything that we have to make decisions on in order. So we're like, hey, let's install a new data center. We have all this new equipment. We install it all on this date. We installed on 2020, let's just say. We know we need to replace it come 2026. What happens when you need to increase stuff before 2026, so you have to jump in there and change your plan up? That's fine, but does that change when you renew everything, or do you want to renew when you go to renew it? Do you want to still do one renewal every time we renew? If we add anything, does it come into the prog? Does it jump into the schedule for refresh with the 26? Why? We just got it. Why are we going to replace it? Well, you can't do that. So what we want to do is, all right, well, we need new equipment here. Well, maybe it's been long enough. Maybe we can do everything we can and maybe even get warranties. Maybe we don't have to replace anything. Maybe we look at the status of the technology and look at what's coming down the pipeline, and maybe we invest into more warranties on the equipment we already own to make the new timeline refresh in the next tech plan after 28. Now, I say we try not to plan too much or put things in stone. Like we're already planning for 2026 MTP. There's new changes that we're wrapping up right now in 2024. We're going into 2026, and we wouldn't be able to do any of that if we didn't have the framework to begin with. This is the foundation of our timeline for Icora, for Creative Tech, for Rigid 6, for Cincy PCS, for Fisher Design, it is on their tech stack anyway. For everything else, they're yearly. They haven't adopted, at least not to my knowledge, they haven't adopted their tech plan. We'll adopt whatever our tech plan is. That's the beautiful thing about what we do here. We want to be your tech stack. We want to be able to manage your tech stack and provide you your tech stack if you want to own your own tech stack. However it goes, the tech stack is the thing. And that's another one. Our lexicon is another big, it's another big one. All right, so we've talked about identity. Now we're talking about principles. We're going to talk about principles now. To be able to build good foundations, ones that resemble that of concrete and steel, we gotta look at where you really want to go. And when I was asking earlier when we were talking about identity, do you really know yourself? Not what other people, don't tell me what other people would say about you, but what do you truly believe? Take off all the masks, take off all of the, layers, get down to the root. Do you know who you are? Do you know what you want? Do you know where you're going? If you do, the principles, the way you do things, like for me, one of the foundations I want to do is I want to approach everything with empathy and kindness. And I do. Where I struggle is with the friction when I'm giving that kindness and empathy and it's being ignored or not reciprocated, and the issues continue. Like I had an issue earlier today. It wasn't very pretty. I actually cussed out a significant stakeholder. It was in lieu of being chewed out and cussed at. But again, if I really am going to be a leader that continues to keep my composure and to be the bigger, better person, because this whole thing would have played out so much better. Because later the person came up to me and said, I need help with this. Or they really didn't come up and say they need help with this. But as I was here, I noticed things and I offered to help them. And I was able to help them and things. Now, if I wouldn't have cussed that person out when we got to the point where I saw them needing help and I offered to help and help them out, the power I would have in that, but I lost it because I lost my composure. That's a foundation I'm working on right now. My principles. And that's easy for me to explain too. And I love the fact that I can break it down there. I can replay the situation in my head. And I know that I started with kindness and empathy. I haven't continued past the first 3 or 4 negative. Yeah, it's just, how do you get to a point to where you can keep your composure no matter what? When you're somebody that cares and energetic as I am, especially when you haven't even taken your first drink of your Red Bull in the morning. Oh, it's a rough morning. And I know this person's wanting to have a great day and they're having an event, and I definitely don't want to be in their way, which I don't believe. I think I've been very respectful in that regards. Always am and always will be. Anywho, let's take a look here. Looks good. 0 viewers per usual. It's Sunday. Nobody's going to be watching you on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. So why not go ahead and get those call to actions out of the way? Let's ask you all to join the tribe. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it if you'd head on over to tribe.creativetech.ai. Join that group. I need to start pushing that. I haven't been pushing. I'm not posting on it. That's why. If I was posting on it, I would be pushing for it. These videos suck still, or I'd be pushing it. I'm not pushing it until I start watching these going, damn, this guy's pretty damn good. I think I just got something out of that. I'm going to share that with somebody. When I feel that, That's when we'll take it live. I don't want to be that idiot. Oh, so last week I lost my composure when we were talking about resilience. That was kind of crazy. So I definitely am trying to keep my composure and not talk about personal life as much. I will say that I think it's important for you to put your personal life out there to some degree, to let people know who you truly are. And, part of my story is heavily embedded from my family, both my bringing up and my situation with my children. It's all a huge part of my story. And it really explains where all this energy and all this drive comes from. You need fuel, you need gasoline to get something moving as much as I got going on. The imposter syndrome, I keep saying it's gone, but I notice it's still there. I sense it, and I'm like, hey, you no. So yeah. So I will start pushing things for the tribe eventually, but I'm not there yet. Now, if you so happen to disagree with me and want to get started, you need to let me know that. Head on over to align.creativetech.ai. Provide me your feedback. I'm going to learn a lot about you. I need to, so that way I can, make sure I know who I'm talking to. I'm laying it all out there for me. I'm going to ask you a few questions if that's okay before we chat. So that is the third thing I'm going to ask you to do is go schedule your free session with me. And sessions are free right now. I just met some really cool business owners that I feel I'm adding value to where I could charge them. But I don't want to be there yet. I don't want to start bringing money into creative tech yet. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think I'm ready. Give me a year of this, and then we'll talk about, hey, I really need to make sure we're focused on our call and that we have something that we're going to work on. I actually feed off of put myself into doing. Yeah. Like, for instance, when I got the data center, it was my business partner, $4,000 a month fucking lease on equipment. Why are we spending, $50,000 a year on this stack, Joseph? Well, because that's going to be bringing us in roughly, $200,000 a year. So why not spend the 50? And after the 5 years, when we don't have to spend that $50,000, money then goes boom to that's ours. But it's never really yours because you got to reinvest back into your equipment. So yeah, it's time to get serial, people. Schedule your free sessions at sessions.creativetech.ai. Now, my goal with this is to get everybody aware of what the creative tech mentality is, what it means to be a modern workforce agent, I guess is what we'll call them. I know we're giving the workforces that we work with now through Icora, we're giving them the modern workforce advantage. Shout out to Will for giving me a call saying, hey, Joe, I got your 3-word tagline. Your transformative word be an advantage. I think that works. Maybe kick it around a little bit. I'm like, dude, those tires are sick. I don't even need to kick them to make sure they're working. That works for me for now. That's great. A lot going on. And as I'm building my foundations, like I'm trying to think of some of the Here's some of the things that we have in our foundation as far as principles go. When we work with a client, regardless if it's a brand or an individual, we work with the people first in the equation. There is a big equation that equals a successful desired state with your tech stack, with your tech plan. And to get to that desired state, we have to, there's a lot of variables in this big, huge equation, right? Let's go ahead and, my Red Bull's empty. About to go grab me another one. Fridge is right around the corner. It's pretty cool. What was I talking about? I got so many things going on at once right now. I really need a team. I need an agenda. So I was going to run out and get a Red Bull. Then I got sidetracked. I forgot what I was getting ready to put up over here on the damn board. Looks like this camera finally died. I was thinking to myself, I want to show you guys what I got going on. Y'all. Hold up. Grab my camera. Oh, I know. People, equations. Oh my goodness, Joseph. Anyway, there's a lot of things going on the tech plan, and one of the biggest things that we have in our foundation is one of the principles we have in our foundation to make it concrete and steel as opposed to mud sticks is we focus on the people first. Just because they're already using this technology, we don't care what the technology is at first. All we want to know is what is this person's job? And is this something where it can be automated to some point, like their job at it? Is it something where they don't have to think or invent or be innovative or problem solve? Is it like I guess they call it monkey brain or whatever type of work? It doesn't matter. We want to understand that person and what they're doing. And then we'll think about the technology. It's always about the person first and then apply the technology after. It's about the person and the process. And can the technology make that easier or better in any way? Notifying somebody of something. So we have to have somebody watch something to send out emails. Okay, that's their job. Can we automate that in any way? Can we structure that in any way? Do we really even need a person there so that way that person that's still employed can focus on other things and we can automate this system for them? Because really you don't even need a person. Let's do that person a favor. Maybe it's process first and then people, because you got to know the right type of person to put there. You know, as I build this out in real time, you're seeing me think and come up with potential new outlines to this foundation. The bottom line is the person has to come before the technology. What the person's doing, I guess, has to come before the technology. The more I think about it, it's the process first. Does it need a person? Can we solve the problem without taking up someone's time? And that right there, people's time is what comes first, if we were to get down to it. And making sure quality is there as well. We don't want to automate something just because the computer can do it. Doesn't mean we don't want a person there to intervene if there's a problem. If we're talking about, death certificates being sent out, we might want a human to make sure the machine's sending out the right information. It just makes practical sense. That's what the creative tech's all about. It's being practical. Man, I was really fired up when we first started the show. That energy, Brian, you gave me so much energy at the beginning. I was so fired up. I did go outside and get a breather before I came up here. So, is what it is. But I'm feeling good. I feel like the studio looks cool. What do you guys think? We've talked about identity. We've talked about principles and how they all relate to foundations. We are currently about 35 minutes into the session. We have 25 minutes left. Shoo! We are blazing through this episode. Whatever. Consistency. Do we want to go ahead and get into the last topic? Sure, why not? So, if we look at foundations, we're talking about how as we build our brands, our identity, and as we are putting principles in place, such as has to be a win-win-win. The client wins, the vendor wins, and we win. We don't ever want to lose. Like, so getting a vendor hooked up with the client, we need to win in there somewhere. Our efforts of connecting dots and doing things, make sure as you do things that there's a win-win-win. Now, sometimes we do refer the client to something and there is no win. A win for us is the client gets what they need, so that way we can do our job. So that would be a win for us. It's not always monetary. Remember that. For us, doing something good for one of our clients might be enough for it to be just connect. But a lot of times we're doing the work for our clients as we're managing these things for our clients. So the vendor would usually get paid, and we get paid for managing to some degree. And a lot of things that we manage, we don't build for. Trust me. If we were to really build a way that this thing's built out, we wouldn't be working with small businesses. They couldn't afford it. And it makes me wonder how we're going to build when we go to bigger teams and bigger corporates. We were such a small team now, we wouldn't take on my other account managers right now. They understand objectives and matters. They get the triennial tech plan, but to get them to understand how people's personal brands affect the overall brand and how to hire the right personal brands for your brand. That's how I like to frame it. Now, again, I'm not an HR specialist. I grew up in the 80s watching rated R movies past 10 o'clock at night because I could. Nobody cared. And through the whole 90s as well, right? Like, we had something called web TV. I tell you what, you give a young teenager access to web TV where there's chat rooms. What's chat rooms? I started young. I was raised by a guy named Butch, if that tells you anything. I'm a little rigid. Let's put it that way. I had a professional that was involved in a very serious family matter tell me that they couldn't be around me for more than 5 minutes without feeling the need to get up and run. I overwhelmed and exhausted, and that I'm too much for them. But they can't stand being around me after 5 minutes, for more than 5 minutes, however she said it. I'm glad that you can't. That's fine. You're not my child. There I go, losing my composure, right? Again, being consistent with the good things. I've been showing up. I've been doing the show. Now, consistency isn't always that great. I consistently make our bed at home, and I throw the throw pillows on and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, how much of a waste. What's that movie where there's like some kind of factory where they're working with pop or whatever. But what I will tell you is damn, what was that movie? No, it was the one where Ben, what's his name? Something about Molly or something like that. I don't know. Something about throw pillows on bed and not doing it anymore. The girl from Friends is in it. I'm horrible with movies and titles. Even like my favorite bands growing up, I knew the name of the band, but the name of their songs. I could sing all the words to their songs, but I don't know the name of their songs. I just put it in and listen to it. That's what I get. I'm not reading all their, even the words I'm I'm singing along with them are probably wrong. Anyway, all right. What are some other foundations that I have put in place? Well, tracking things. That's one of my foundations. If you're doing it and you're going to work on it and improve it, track it. Journaling. Some of these are foundations that I know are helping me build out and be better. Wanting to continuously improve my ability to work with others and to collaborate with others and to help bring value to them. These are all foundational things that make up part of your who you are. So again, we're all working towards something. We are all doing our best to, I don't know. Are you trying to get to a desired state of some shape? Do you have a reason to get up and try doing things? I don't know what you have to be honest and authentic with yourself. And that's one thing is that I think it's difficult when I work with others because they know, like, as I'm working with them, what most people think, I think, like they may have some thoughts similar to mine, they would say it out loud. For whatever reason, I'm just I don't get it. Anyway, how have I had 32 hours of just sitting here blabbering about nothing? That's really crazy. I'm excited about what we've built. I know there's still a lot of room for improvement. And this whole show, this whole hour episode thing, I've been trying to reach out to Cole and Will. Will's kind of being Will right now. I let him borrow some lenses, and weeks would go by. He'd be like, "Well, I got another trip I got to go on. I'll get him back to you next time." Okay, cool. Hey, man, you back? He's like, "Oh yeah, I already had to leave again." Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, well, yeah. I need you to reach out to me when you're back. Please let me know so that way I get my stuff. Hey, man, are you back? Oh yeah, I'm back. I gotta leave in 2 days though. I don't know if I can meet before then. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you letting me know that you're back and that you're leaving in 2 days. I need my stuff. Why, you got a gig or something? Like, literally, that's how it went down. And I feel like he's pissed at me right now because I was like, yeah, I did. I had to shoot the next day. There was a school doing this shoot, and he had my 14. I told him he can use the 70 to 200. You can keep that one. I just need the 14 mil back, please. He brought them both back. They're in great condition. I appreciate it. But I feel like he was being somewhat short and rude with me and now not returning calls. So I don't. Well, not sure what's going on, buddy. I don't expect it. I don't think you owe me anything. No. I mean, yeah, I really have a lot that I was hoping that you would help me with. Obviously, if you're too busy and you don't have capacity for it, that's fine. The way you're being makes me feel like you don't even want to associate yourself with me. That's kind of weird. And I asked myself, do I say something to him? Do I get shitty with him? Why? That I just want a response. I'm not getting a response. I'm going to throw a big baby fit. No. We're all adults here. I know what he's doing. I'm not stupid. And yeah, I'll let him know in my own way that, hey, man, just let me know what's going on. Happy to chat. And if he does come to me, I'm going to be like, hey, man, yeah, cool, great. Especially if he needs something. Like, oh, you need something? That's awesome. I'm happy to help, as usual. I just feel a little thrown off from the last time, and I've reached out to you multiple times. Like however that goes, I just don't know if it'll go well. I don't even think he would want to do it. I feel like if he did need my help, he wouldn't even reach out because he'd be like, "Ah, fuck, that'd make me look bad." So I don't know what to do. People, I guess I'm an asshole because I needed my shit back. And if that's enough to ruin the relationship, then that tells me that, hey, this wasn't really. How many relationships do you have that are at that level? That's surface level relationship. Now, my boy Cole, Everybody's busy right now. He texted me like 3 weeks ago, saying, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I haven't got back to you. I'll call you back here. I'll get with you later." And I've tried calling him, I think, 3 times since then, twice in the last few days. I really need to get good at building value. Like this Brian guy that came in here today. Seeing people that are genuinely excited about the stuff and hearing him talk about how he's using Copilot and ChatGPT tells me that, this guy is at least familiar with these tools enough and is probably interested enough, especially if he recognizes gear and things of that nature. Like, hey man, you let's jam. Let's get together and jam. That's what it's like to me. Back in the day, I'd grab my guitar and amp and I'd head over to someone's house with drums and we just fucking get that groove going. You know what I mean? It's so fucking awesome. So yeah. God, what a shit show. What a shit show this is today. Okay. We still got 15 minutes. So what I'll do right now is I'm going to show you guys the studio here. We have as you can see, we have the studio. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights real quick. All right, now that the lights are on here in the studio, let's go ahead and take a look. So right now, that's where I was standing on a couple of trees. It's all about setting a scene. And here is my messy table of gear. Got a big old monitor here to help me make sure I'm not looking like an idiot. Everything's in decent shape. Woo! Bomb. Yeah, like look. Hold on, get loud. I'm sure it's going to be probably the name down. What's the name down? Right. That boat speaker is really bags for more gear, one gear back there. There's A camera, B camera, and right now. There it is. That's one battery of my phone. It's about 9 the speed. All right. So that's it. Turn these lights back on. So all right. There you have it. We are currently in the midst of this lab, 32 hours of streaming, not knowing what we're doing. What is the delta? And we're going to start wrapping up the end of the show. We have this in every show already. We want to do a recap or a status update of the tribe, right? We're not pushing anybody towards the tribe. In fact, I'm doing so much experimental stuff right now. Like, even while I'm talking, I'm testing so much there's so much going on right now, and I'm one person, and I'm overdoing it. So I know this is all not very good, but I'm putting myself out there. I'm being vulnerable. I mean, I'm even getting emotional at times on this stuff. I really want. I know I'm going to get there. And I know I'm not going to get there alone. I know I'm going to run along with somebody in my path. Whether I get a job somewhere working for a big company where they treating me like gold because they see the value I bring and they want me giving this energy to them, or I see enough people, uh, I get enough people to trust in me and understand my flaws in communication and see how how I'm doing with all the trauma and things from my past in a way that all this energy is in a way to do better, to bring back a culture of continuous improvement education. I don't like I don't like the fact that there's neighborhoods that I grew up in that don't have anything for kids to do. When I was a kid, despite how things were back then, I mean, come on, the 80s and the 90s. Like, I know it wasn't the 50s and the 60s, but racism and sexism and the pride community, all of it. The struggle, we're getting better as humanity, but it, learning what adoption takes in a small business for something as simple as being secure, getting people to realize it's not the technology is not going to make you secure. It's about your processes and your people and what they know. What I love about Duke Energy, because that's where my wife works, and I get a modern uptick of. I miss working for big corporations. I don't like it because they treat you like a number, but I love the structure. I love the confidence in knowing that if I need something, I can call and or get this information by going to the site or fill out a form and whatever it is. There was structure to it, and there was answers. It was clear. It was a yes or no. There wasn't so much ambiguity. It was so under control. And then you go to small businesses where you have person-dependent systems. You know what a person-dependent system is. Just like saying we have an HR department, but you don't have an HR department. We have our HR person. And our HR person so happens to be, or let's trade it to a marketing person. This person does our marketing. Now, marketing to me is such a huge thing. How can you have one person? I mean, when you're a small business, you have to do it. It's a small team. And you'll have that one person doing marketing, but they'll also be doing some of HR. They'll be doing some of whatever other administrative things they're doing. Or hell, maybe they work out on the floor. They just like doing marketing, so you let them do your logo and stuff. And they enjoy it, so you give them a little extra money on top of their factory work that they do. I don't know. Get creative, by the way, people. Know your workforce. Get to know them. Learn what they like and what they enjoy. Find ways to incorporate those things into the workspace. Don't make it a work-life balance. Make it a work-life fabric. Make it to where when they come to work, they get to enjoy life too. God. I mean, we always do that to some degree with the break room. If you have a break room with a TV in it that's playing something, anything at all, other than just like music constantly, at least I don't do something. That's where it starts. Small things. What I like to see is that we communicate with our team and our workforce as internal. Your workforce is your bloodline, and I can't tell you enough. So, what am I doing here? That's a good question. What am I doing? What are we going to be doing with the creative tech? Is my mic still on? Do I still have audio? Can you guys hear me okay? I hope so. I hope I'm not clipping. I'll turn this down a little bit. Whoop, boom. There, that should be a little bit better. But yeah, tell me what you think of the studio. I think the It's easy to set up. I really could do this in any, I guess, 30 by 20 space. But this isn't just any space. This is the Rigid 6 studio. Oh my God, there's so much to this place. This is one room. I have full control of the light. So hopefully the light looks somewhat okay. I got a little bit of a gradient going on back here. I don't know if you can see it, if it's standing out a lot through the video. But with the gradient going on, that's part of our brand, right? For Rigid 6, Creative Tech, and for iCore, right? We're using it. We have foundational things through the brand that will make sure people know to connect those things. And I have something called josephsunderman.com that I'm working on. We'll get there. We'll get there. And as I build out my personal brand, as I get my personal brand where it needs to be, if I could have been 20 doing what I'm doing right now, knowing what I know right now, yeah, that question I asked at the beginning of this, I don't know if you can hear it over all the music, but I asked at the beginning of this whole thing that if you had to start over from scratch, like, could you do it? For me, like if I had to start over and I didn't have anyone or anybody, like anything, I lost it all. I have to start over alone. Maybe I get deported into some new country. I can't even speak the damn language. Do I want to? First of all, is my family alive? Because I'm going to try to get back to them. That'll be my mission. But let's say they're gone. Let's say they're not coming back. They can't come back. They're gone. For whatever horrific reason. Would I want to start over again? Would I want to find a new partner? Would I want to have a community? Would I want to help people in the community? Or would I want to go find a mountain where there's plenty of life around to support me by hunting and just living off the land? And yeah, I hope I'm never faced with that. But if I had to start over, I think I'd be okay. I think I'd be able to stay strong. And I know that if I lost everybody I love, that I know that if they were here, I know them enough to know that they wouldn't want. I know if I went, I'd want to see if it was my daughter in the situation. It's still your human experience. Just because our experience is over, you enjoy your experience. Make the best of it. Find your purpose and go. And right now, my purpose, what I'm wanting to do, first of all, I want to know myself. I want to know myself very well. And doing this right here helps you understand yourself more than you would ever. I want to know myself so that way I can help others know themselves and help them get over the same demons and the same hurdles I've had to. And if you've had to deal with something, like I hope you haven't had to deal with half of the shit. I hope I'm an expert in this because of the trauma I've dealt with, because of the ways I've been growing up without that family, and then having a family on purpose, like wanting to have children, and then have those children taken from you without your, like, you fight in court and you battle, and like that feels like it's been my whole life, and it's not cool. So yeah, if I had to start over again, I'd be able to handle that. I was built for this shit, This is what I do. That's what last week's episode was about, resilience. We'll get there. And I really hope you're there with me when I get there. I do. I reached out to my friend Nathan today. So I was sitting here thinking about this time where my friend took a hit off a bong. He took this big ass hit off this bong. This bong was probably a 3 foot or 4 foot bong. Just sitting there. Takes the stem out. You see his eyes roll in the back of his head. He looks up. He just takes like 2 steps back, hits the door. He just walked in the door and he was like, "Hey, everybody, hey, here's a bong, man." He's like, "Yeah, let's hit this." Pulled out the stem and his eyes rolled back. He hit that door and just went straight on his ass. Passed out. God, that was such a good day, though. Scariest shit he came to. It was good. We thought he died. Like, shit, he just died. We have weed. Oh my God, they're going to get us for murdering him for drugs. Like, it's weed. Nobody gives a shit about it. We know that now, looking back. But anyway, your kids, you know. Well, I called my friend Nathan and say, hey, man, have you talked to Mark and Chris? He's like, Mark died like 7 or 8 years ago. Like, oh. Chris is still around, but I guess she's not very active on Facebook. I hope she's doing well. I couldn't imagine. Those two were so in love. I feel so. Don't think about that right now, Joe. You don't need to get all emotional. Jesus. People, life is too short. You know what I really like is that that whole 3-year triennial thing that I've been putting into place. It really helps you put things in that's been one of the biggest helpers in me accepting things. Like right now, I just know this is the way it is in the current plan, the current 3-year structure. You know, right now, I'm excited for what 2026's tech plan is going to bring. You know, I'm wrapping up this year and next year, hoping to start 2026 afresh with a new perspective, a new website, all this newness, right? We're going to have a website up before then, but that's going to be a stepping stone until the 2026 MTP. So, yeah. I didn't even get to make part of my marketing campaign. I want it to be like when we do our website, coming in 2026, the 26th MTP, and the site that we have right now that we put up, it being even like, you know, welcome to the Icora Master Tech Plan, the 2023 to 25 Master Tech. You know, we are gearing up for the 26th MTP. Here are some of the new systems and the new practices coming into the Master Tech Plan that have been developed during this. So we do current development in the current tech plan we're in. Once we like these systems. Ooh, we like these practices. Ooh, these foundations are solid. Don't lose these foundations. You know, we build that plan up through the 23 to 25. And we have done so much delta. I mean, 2020, 21, and 22, those 3 years, that tech plan was crazy. I just started Icora in 2019, right? I was doing my tech plan was for CCPCS before that from 2016, 18, and 19. Sorry, 17, 18, and 19. We started in 15. In 16, I came up with the concept master tech plan and the idea for Cincy MSP. That was in 2016. Went live in 2017, 18, 19, and then 20, 21, 22. So in 19, when I bought Icora, those 6 months were ramping up for the 2020 tech plan. That's when it kicked off. What I'm saying is every tech plan should be a huge delta. Keep piling it on. Ooh. Yeah, baby. All right. I'm parched. We've hit that hour mark on the stream. I feel good about today's sessions. It was shitty. We'll admit it. But, you know, after the first 15 minutes, we got that music down, and I realized I had to get out that energy. I was so overwhelmed and worked up because meeting somebody new that I'm excited about, like, yeah. But that died down for the first 15 minutes, and the rest of the show hopefully was okay. Losing my voice here towards the end of it just because I need a drink, and I didn't go get one during the show like I said I would. What am I doing? Huh? So schedule your free sessions. You know, make sure you fill out that alignment form and join that tribe in whatever order you want to do it in. It doesn't matter. If you want to do one of the three, or if you want to just do two of the three, doesn't matter. It's really whatever you feel comfortable with. But as we build this out, you know, when you fill out the form, it goes into our influencer database. We use our influencer database during our sessions to align with and have conversations around what our brand is and how we look at other people's brands. Just having those conversations will help me help you understand. Like when I have a session with you and break through and talk, especially if it's somebody that's into something that maybe I haven't had much experience with, like it's super exciting because my curiosity gets the best of me. Hope you're curious too. All right, I got to clean up. This was a great test. We got, our camera angles here today. We got B camera, we got our A camera. If we get somebody to help with this that can sit in the back end, maybe even do some handheld camera, maybe have some guests on the show, like all that's coming. All this takes time, and that's okay. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Make sure you take good care of yourself mentally. You got to do it mentally first. You got to make sure you're taking good care of yourself mentally, so that way you can do your physical, work that you have to do. You don't want to go to a physical workout not being mentally prepared or mentally in the right place. In fact, it's a great time to take the negative things going on and some of the frustrating things in your life going off during that time of physical activity. Think about, get that energy out the bin. Find ways to get it out. Find ways that make you release all that tension. So that way, when you're done with your workout and you're done and you're going to go focus on building and making things, you've already spent that negative energy. Keep all the positive energy for building things and for your family. All right, everybody. November 3rd, 2024 already. This year's about done. Joseph Sunderman, creative technologist here in Cincinnati, Ohio at the Rigid 6 Studios. Thank you guys for joining us today on the 32nd episode of Sessions on Foundations, where we talked about identity, principles, and being consistent, and how you can build those foundations for you and your brand. That way, when you go associate your brand with others, that you're bringing the best of you to the world. So keep up the good work. You're fucking awesome. Keep it heavy. Keep it real. I'll see you next time. Peace.